I mean, what a great game. I mean, it was, and we knew it was going to be that kind of game. The way Michigan's been playing, they're all veteran guys. They're so well coached. You know, I have an amazing amount of respect for Coach Beeline, what he's done, and you know, for us to have to just keep fighting the whole game, and you know, we missed 1-on-1s. You know, we left some points on the table. We could never get any separation, and you know, just to keep battling. And I just love the way our guys were talking in the huddles. They just kept saying, "We're not losing tonight." You know, and it was them. It wasn't me. It was the guys. We're not losing tonight. And you know, just a special night to be able to finish the game the way you did. I mean, it's almost kind of fitting when you're trying to do things that are really hard. You know, it takes exceptional things sometimes. So, you know, first of all, to, you know, Coach James, who drew up the play, you know, he's our special situation. He's like my special teams coordinator all his years in the NBA. He's got all the sideline, under, out of bounds, long special situations. And, you know, it was funny as a staff when the ball and they were figuring out how much time was left, we knew it was going to be inside of 2 seconds. And a couple of the assistants said, why don't we just get it? Let's not risk a turnover. Let's just get it in and go to overtime and play 5 minutes. And my instinct said, no, we got to go for it. And once I said that, Coach James grabbed the clipboard. You know, he drew up a great play. Nathan Taphorn, you know, don't the Bears need a QB? What a pass. And for Pardon to go up there in traffic, catch it, gather, go up and finish. And to do it at home in front of our fans and to be able to celebrate it and share it was just what a special night. So I'm open for questions.
What's the name of the play?
We didn't even have a name. We never even practiced it. You know, we never even practiced that play. It was all something that Coach James drew up in the huddle. You know, fortunately, there was extended time to really explain it. You know, we had time issues. There were a couple timeouts. We drew it up, and then they called a full timeout. So then we got another full timeout to really explain what we wanted to do. And then there's always some luck involved. I mean, it's like, I'm not going to say like, you know, you got to throw a pass, you got to go up and catch it. So, you know, guys got in the right spots. Nate threw a great pass. Pardon went up, got it, and finished. So what an awesome. I didn't know what to do. I mean, it was almost surreal the way it happened.
You were at the match then.
Yeah.
How much of can you talk about the relief that this creates, and
Yeah.
can you talk about the pressure
Yeah.
that you were feeling up to this point?
Yeah, you know what, guys, and it's honestly, there is a lot of pressure on these guys, and you know, we've had, all you guys have had our media availabilities, and I've talked all year about how we've tried to stay focused on what's in front of us and come up with other motivations, and really a couple days ago, I decided to go completely away from that. You know, after Indiana, I came in and I challenged them, and I told them there was pressure. It was the first time. You know, and I said, guys, there is pressure. And anything good in life involves handling pressure and succeeding under pressure. So we're not going to avoid it anymore. We're not going to skirt around it. We're not going to not talk about it. There is pressure on us. We got to go out and win if we want to do something great. And I don't know if that helped. I don't know if that was. But, you know, I thought it was time to be like that with them. I challenged them. You know, I challenged them to be tougher mentally and to be stronger, to put 40 minutes together and get this done.
What did you do? And were you sure that it beat the clock, or was there still some nervousness inside you after you saw the layup?
I kind of thought he got it off, but anytime there's a last-second play, you don't want to go like nuts, you know, because there was only 1-6 or 1-7, whatever it was. So I tried to keep my composure and make sure. But I was pretty confident he got it off. I mean, the way he caught it and went right up, there was almost a full 2 seconds. So I felt good about it. But until they give you the, you know, and then really after shaking hands and, you know, with the Michigan guys and you know, the guys were in the mosh pit with the students, I wanted to find my family, you know, because it's been a great journey so far.
Who was here from your family, and was Doug here? Was your dad here?
No, probably. Fortunately, he's actually on the air right now doing the Boston-Cleveland game on ESPN. So hopefully they did a cut in out of a timeout or something and showed him the play. I know his phone was down in his pocket the whole game, but it's probably better he wasn't here. My wife was here, my kids, my mother, and just a special night.
So when they took that second timeout, you took a timeout, Michigan took a timeout, they reset the shot clock and gave you 1.7. Did that change anything, and did anything change over those 2 timeouts that you were thinking about after Michigan took one?
It just helped us explain the play a little better since we'd never run it before. Gave us a little more time. Sometimes in a 30-second timeout, it's hard to explain 5 guys, so it gave us more time to, okay, this is exactly where we want you starting. This is exactly where we want you cutting. It was important. We told Taphorn he couldn't airmail the pass. That was the worst thing you could do because then they would get the ball out of bounds under. So we told him whatever you did, you got to make sure that it's in the play where the ball gets touched. And actually, when he threw it, I kind of thought it was going long, when it came off his hands, but it ended up being like perfect right under the rim. We told the guys, in that situation, a team, they don't want to foul, because if they go up and foul, then you're going to the foul line. So we just said, follow the flight of the ball, go up and gather it. And you got the one thing about having an extra 3/10 or whatever. I told the guy, you didn't have to rush it. You almost had 2 seconds. So if you caught it, you could gather and you'd had time to go back up. So, I think that helped Derek.
It's obviously not going to be the headline tomorrow, but Vic getting back on track was so hugely important. He tweeted out something about saying how you have to go through the darkness to get to the light. Was there anything like he changed?
What a wise man.
Was there anything he changed this week, leading up to this game? And then how important was it for him to get those first couple shots early? Was that a point of emphasis?
Well, you guys know he's been struggling with his jump shot. So I think you saw we made a conscious effort right out of the gates to get him involved, getting to the basket, driving, curling. He got a couple layup. He got a short pull up the first play. Then he got to the basket, and got a left-handed layup. I just thought he had amazing energy tonight, and he was the one. I mean, it's kind of almost fitting. I mean, you had the 2 freshmen, but when we started this whole thing, he was the local guy that jumped on first and said, I want to be at the forefront of this of what we're going to build here. And so for him to play like this under this kind of pressure on the biggest stage, the biggest game any of our guys have played in their careers, for him to lead the charge with that, I was really proud of him. Really proud of him.
Chris, the guys were pumping their fists and screaming all night, it seemed. I mean, you issued that challenge. You say, the pressure's on. Did they react differently than they have in games past?
I don't know. My instincts were telling me that we had to meet it head on. If we're going to do this thing, you got to meet it head on. Don't skirt it. I mean, there's pressure on all of us. There's pressure on you guys to do your jobs and write good stories and, support for your families and all. There's pressure on me. I mean, that's what life's about. If you want to do something good, you got to meet pressure on, head on. And so, it was just my instinct. I'd kind of been skirting around it for a long time because I've been worried about my guys. I just have. I mean, human nature. There's what they've been going through the last couple of weeks, no team in America has gone through. I mean, social media, articles, it's a lot on young guys. And you can say, like, don't read it, but that's how they live. They live on their phones. They live on Twitter. They live on Instagram. Like, you're not going to avoid it. So I finally just, after Indiana, when we got back, the next day and got together, I just challenged them. I said, we got to meet if we want to do this. We got to meet it head on. We got to be tougher. And we got to do it together. We got to have emotion. We got to have energy. And I was really proud of how we responded.
Coach, you got to Duke the year after the Leitner play. When that ball was going through the air and you were watching it, did you think of it at all?
After the fact, I did. It's just crazy. It was kind of surreal. The ball was up in the air. And my initial instinct, to be honest, was I thought he threw it too long. So I was a little bit worried that it was going to airmail and then they were going to get the ball out of bounds under, because the way it was sailing, I said, oh, no, not tonight. And it ended up being like a perfect pass. And then it just happened so quick. Derek got it. He laid it in. And I kind of felt like I was Jimmy V back in '83. Like I didn't know. I was looking around. I didn't have anyone to hug. And I don't know. And then they said we won. So that was a good thing.
Coach, over here.
Yeah.
And now that you will have to, I guess, catch your collective breaths and you got to turn around and immediately turn your attention to Purdue.
Sure.
How much more important is that game now? And what you're looking
Huge.
at?
I mean, I think the big thing, guys, is we're playing better. I mean, we went through a couple week stretch, and obviously it's not an excuse, but the disruption of Scotty's illness really threw a wrench into our team. It changed us. And then he's still coming back. It's taken him a couple weeks to get his legs back and start playing again. And if you look in our league, everybody with the exception of Purdue has kind of had a couple week stretch where they've had a little bit of a lull where they've lost a couple or lost 4 out of 5 or, and then you got to fight out of it. And so for us, I feel like we went through that lull. We lost those 5 out of 7, 3 of those without Scotty. So it really wasn't our full team. But, I thought we played very well against Indiana. I really did. That's what was so disappointing. I thought we played well. We got back to being us in that game. And then tonight I thought we played very well. So I think we're trending back towards being the team. I'm hoping now some of this outside noise and all that stuff, we can just play and we can get better. And I told the guys after, whatever's going to happen we got more games to play. And what a great opportunity. We have the league champs coming into our building on Sunday afternoon in the last game in the history of this arena. I mean, what a great opportunity to go out and just let loose and play and compete and see what we can do.
Barrett Benson gave you guys some great
awesome.
minutes with Pardon out early with foul trouble, but then, of course, Pardon's going to be the headline again. How important was Benson? And then against, they have 2 bigger guys, but probably not real physical guys as opposed to more skilled guys. How important was his size and then his energy and his skill even off the bench in the post?
Well, it was huge. I think you guys saw because of their bigs being so skilled, we were doing a lot of switching, because they get you in all their pick and roll games. If you don't, they get you in their bigs pick and pop and they get you spread out and they get the ball moving. And so we were doing a lot of switching and we kind of wanted them to play more one-on-one. And, so I thought in order to do that, though, your bigs got to move their feet, because they're going to have matchups where they're guarding Walton or they're guarding Wagner or Irvin. So when Derek got those 2 fouls and then Sanjay picked up 2 fouls, for our bench, what Gavin came in and did, what Barrett came in and did, I thought Taphorn gave us really good minutes in that first half. They not only did they do well, but we got a lead with those guys in the game. So, I've been saying all along we can't play with 5 guys. We need 8, 9 guys ready to go, and I thought we had a collective effort tonight.